When you think of a history book, you probably picture paper, right? Scrolls, maybe? But what if the greatest history books ever created weren't written at all? What if they were carved out of entire mountains? That's what we're looking at. These incredible structures aren't just buildings. No, they're libraries of information, chiseled right out of living rock.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How in the world do you read a history book that's written in solid rock? Because that's exactly what these monuments are. They hold the secrets to ancient beliefs, entire societies, and an artistic genius that is just mind-blowing. You just have to know how to look.
All right, let's dive in. Here's our journey for today. We're going to start with how these impossible structures were even made. Then we'll travel through a timeline carved in stone, see how they became sanctuaries where different faiths lived together, uncover the secrets they spill about ancient life, and finally, really appreciate the unbelievable legacy they left behind.
Okay, first things first, we need to wrap our heads around the basic concept here. And trust me, this isn't about stacking bricks or laying a foundation. It's about something way more ambitious, something that almost feels impossible.
The official term is rock-cut architecture, and the definition is everything. You create buildings by carving them directly out of a single, solid piece of natural rock. Think about that. You're not building something, you're revealing it. It's subtractive art, but on a scale that is just massive.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. They didn't build it up, they carved it in. Every single pillar, every doorway, every statue you see, it was all part of the mountain to begin with. The level of planning and pure vision it took to start at the top and carve your way down, it's just staggering to think about.
Now, this incredible technique didn't just appear out of nowhere. It evolved over more than 1,000 years. It grew more complex, more ambitious, and more beautiful with every century that passed. And this timeline really tells the story. You can see it starts pretty humbly, right? Around the 3rd century BCE with these early, fairly simple caves. But then things start to get serious. You get these huge cave complexes like Ajanta. Then, by the 6th to 8th centuries, you see all these unique regional styles popping up. And it all leads to this, the absolute peak of the art form, with monolithic wonders like the Kailasa Temple at Ellora. Just incredible.
And the difference is just night and day. The earliest caves, they were basically simple rooms, sometimes carved to look like the wooden buildings of the time. But you jump forward a few centuries, and suddenly you have these later temples. We're talking multiple stories, complex layouts, sculptures that tell epic stories, and a level of engineering that honestly still has experts scratching their heads.
So why? Why go to all this trouble? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is religion. These weren't just architectural showpieces, they were deeply sacred spaces. And what they tell us about ancient beliefs, well, it's profound.
You want the perfect example? Look no further than the Ellora Caves. This might be the most powerful symbol of religious harmony ever created. You have one single site, one cliff face, that holds sacred temples and monasteries for 3 different major religions, all existing right next to each other.
And this just makes it crystal clear. At Ellora, you've got this breathtaking collection of Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain structures, all carved into the very same rock. It's a literal, physical testament to an era of incredible tolerance and cultural teamwork. And this wasn't just a one-off thing at Ellora. All across India, these sites became visual encyclopedias of faith. You could go to Ajanta and see Buddhist Jataka tales come to life on the walls. Or visit the Elephanta caves, where Hindu mythology just explodes into 3 dimensions. Or explore sites like Udayagiri to find the core principles of Jain philosophy carved for all to see.
But it's not all about religion. These stone monuments are also absolute treasure troves of information about what everyday life was actually like. They're packed with clues about politics, trade, and the very fabric of ancient society. So, how do we know any of this? Well, one of the most important clues is the inscriptions. Now, don't just think of these as words on a wall. It's so much more than that. Think of them as a civilization's hard drive, pure stone-carved data designed to last for millennia.
So what's on this hard drive? You get a download of their political history, who was in charge, which king paid for the construction, you get details on how their government worked, and you get all these little clues about their economic networks, the trade routes that were the lifeblood of their society.
And speaking of trade, the placement of these caves wasn't random at all, not even a little bit. They're often found right along major ancient trade routes, acting as spiritual centers and rest stops for merchants and pilgrims. By mapping where the caves are, we can literally map the flow of ancient commerce. It's amazing.
And here's something else that's really fascinating. These sites tell us a story about social equality. The evidence suggests that a lot of these places, like the incredible Elephanta caves, were open to everyone, people from all walks of life. They were true community spaces, promoting a shared culture.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the unbelievable artistic legacy. These sites are, without a doubt, a kind of time capsule, preserving the evolution of Indian art and culture across hundreds and hundreds of years.
I mean, the artistic record here is just off the charts. At the Ajanta caves, you have the oldest surviving mural paintings in all of India, a priceless window into the ancient world. You can literally watch classical art evolve before your eyes. You can find hints of cultural exchange with faraway places like Greece and Persia. And you can even see early versions of major temple styles perfectly preserved in the rock.
Of course, protecting this priceless heritage is a massive job. Today, that responsibility falls to organizations like the Archaeological Survey of India. They're the ones making sure these stone libraries are still here for us and for future generations to learn from and be amazed by.
And in the end, it really all boils down to this. These incredible monuments are so much more than stone. They are bridges that connect us to our own past, giving us these invaluable, irreplaceable insights into the evolution of a civilization's art, its culture, and its entire way of life. Which leaves us with one final, lingering thought. We've learned so much from these rock-cut wonders. We've deciphered their stories of faith and society and art. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With so much history carved into every single surface, what stories are still waiting in there, waiting to be unearthed from the stone?